What's up, Peach Posse?
This is Anna.
This is Taylor.
Welcome to the Naked Peaches podcast. Okay, you need to tell the story of what has happened to you at this conference.
Let's get right into it.
Posse, we are currently at the Portrait Masters conference, and it has been amazing. But
incredible. We met our icon, David Suh, posing legend.
Taylor got to film a TikTok with him. Taylor and Amanda filmed a TikTok with him.
We did.
If you don't follow him, first of all, that's Posse. Just go immediately. Go search him. Go watch all his videos. You probably have because he's so incredible.
You'll go follow him and then you'll be like, I don't need Naked Peach anymore to show me posing tutorials because he's so good at it.
It was absolutely iconic. And watching him talk, it was just like the same as him being on TikTok.
Yeah. He's incredible. But okay, what we really need to talk about is the pooping situation.
Yes, but first, I know usually we catch up and then we bring on our guest.
Yeah.
However, I know this story, and I think we just need a really genuine reaction. So I think, Shannon, welcome to the pod. We're bringing you on now. Taylor's going to tell the story, and just prepare yourself, okay?
Prepare yourself. And welcome to our
We'll give you a proper intro after the story's done.
Yeah. Anna's heard the story like 13 times now.
It keeps getting better every time.
So you guys know that we always have issues with pooping when we're traveling. Like, it is a thing where like we travel, we get constipated, we complain about it, like, you know, it's just what happens. And I had a sort of reverse of this situation happen to me. So the first day we get here, we find out that there's a water park, and we're like, okay, let's go check out the water park. Like, it's 1,000 fucking degrees in Phoenix. Like, we need to go cool down. We get to the water park, we meet up with some friends, and they tell us to go on the slide. They're like, it's really fun, but it's also really intense when you like hit the bottom. So just like be prepared. And I'm sort of like, I'm more worried about like hurting my back than anything. And it turns out that I was like, that was not what I needed to be worried about.
Also, this is the tallest water slide I've ever been on or seen. You have to climb so many stairs to get to the top. It is incredibly steep. It made me feel like we were back at Disneyland on the Incredicoaster, but a water slide version of the Incredicoaster.
Exactly. Like, I felt like it brought me right back to Disneyland.
Yes.
So we like walk up, 1,000 stairs to get to this slide, and there's like little children running up there with us. We ask them which one is like the scariest one, and they're like, that one. And then they go on the other one. So like they obviously knew something we didn't know. And Angie goes down the slide first, and she's screaming, but it's over really fast, so it seems like it's fine. And then I go next, and I'm like, mostly what I'm concerned about is losing my bathing suit. And so that's what I'm kind of focusing on. I'm grabbing my boobs, I'm like clenching my butt, and I go down the slide, and it's literally like 2 seconds long. It's so fast. And I hit the bottom, and it's like I thought that I was gonna be dropped into a pool of water. But it's like a tiny little, like, shallow pool of water.
It's like a slip and slide that's just like there's a lot of water on it and you just keep going.
Yeah, like, it's not like a pool where you're being dunked into like deep water. It's like extremely shallow.
Yeah, you just keep sliding.
And you're like, I just feel like it's like insulting. You're like fully exposed. Like, everybody can see everything because you're not underwater dealing with your missing bathing suit.
Yes, you're flailing.
Like, it's like, let me do this under the water where nobody can see, but you're just like out there. The lifeguard is watching you. It's really awkward.
And they make you go down the water slide, feet first, hands above your head, and like making 2 triangles above your head, and feet cross. So
it's
weird. You're very like, you can't even hold your top down. You can't hold that. Like, you're just really exposed.
They're like, we want you to be vulnerable.
Yes.
And so I hit the bottom. I'm not expecting this like shallow slip and slide. And like, it felt really intense. Like, I don't even really know how to describe it, but it was like this really intense feeling of water around my butt. And I was like, something doesn't feel right. Like, it just didn't feel right. And it was like a lot of pressure around my butt, and I felt like maybe my bathing suit ripped, maybe I shit myself, like something isn't right, and I don't know what's going on, and I'm like kind of disoriented. I'm like scared to get up, and when I do get up, I made Angie and Anna like check to make sure I hadn't like pooped myself because that's what it felt like.
She literally bent over in front of us. It's like, you need to look.
It did not feel right. It was like, it felt like the water had shoved my bathing suit bottom into my butthole and like through my butthole and into my soul. Like it just like.
It gave you an enema.
Literally. Okay, so that's what happened. I was like, just something wasn't right. I was like, I need to leave this water park. We come back to the hotel room and I go to the bathroom and check my situation and make sure I haven't like shit inside my bathing suit. And I shit out water. It was literally a full on enema from the slide. It was so gross.
You didn't think you were going to get two things at once.
Dude, I felt like
Did
why
you feel
does
better
nobody
afterwards?
I mean, I think it should have happened like 3 days into the trip because then I really would have been like, this is clearing me out, you know?
Are you going back down the slide tonight?
No, because now my fear is like, if it ever happens again, what if I hadn't been able to like hold it in? You know, like I can't even, it all happened so fast. I don't know like what my body's reaction was, but obviously I clenched, you know? I didn't let the water back out once it went up. But, like, what if I did let it out? What if I actually let the enema happen fully in the pool, and then there was just I shit in the pool, like, and had to shut down the whole water park. Like,
in the shallow end. You, the shallow end, shit in the lifeguard.
I can't have that be my portrait master's legacy. I can't.
Well, since it is the last one here, you would be okay. Because nobody else would come the next year and be like, remember that girl that pooed in the pool?
That's true. So if there ever was a time to poop in the pool, it's tonight.
Go out with
at the pool party.
A bang, I guess, you know.
We'll get a lot of followers.
We would.
Just think about it.
No, you guys, it was so horrible.
It
was really scary.
And Angie and I the whole time we're like, okay, Taylor just got like a really bad wedgie because she just kept saying like, I don't feel right, something's weird. And we're like, okay, like really bad wedgie. How bad could it be? No, and then she literally shits pool water that little kids pee in was inside your butthole.
Yeah, it's like when you really think about where that water's been, and then it was inside me. It's like having sex with like the dirtiest, grossest man.
Well, you had a little chlorine in there, you know, maybe cleaned a couple of things.
It's just like, I can't even think too much about it, you know? So, but apparently I talked to someone else who also got an enema from the slide. So I'm not.
Wait, you did?
You can't be the first
I didn't hear
person.
this.
Mary's friend Brian. He also had an enema from the slide. No. Yeah.
I feel like it probably happens on a regular basis. That's why those kids were like, you should probably just let these ladies go up there.
Yeah, they knew exactly what they were getting us into.
Okay, posse, send thoughts and prayers to Taylor. She needs them.
I mean, I'm fine now.
Okay, so Shannon, welcome to the pod.
Hello.
We're so happy to have you here. So for those of you that don't know, Shannon is an amazing photographer. We met last year here at Portrait Masters, and I didn't know of you prior to coming to Portrait Masters.
No, it was all pretty much on a whim.
Yeah, on a whim. Thanks to Pratik. Love him. But you did the iconic photo shoot of me that everyone has seen.
I love that you're calling it iconic.
It is iconic.
Your Vogue photo shoot.
Literally, it is the profile photo on my Instagram. It's like some of my favorite photos of myself.
You're never allowed to change it, though.
No.
Do I ever need to change it? I look so good in that photo. Like, I look at that photo and I'm just like, oh, that is me. And then I just feel so much better about myself. But you, like, to me, your style of photography is like, I know, like, your thing says like fine art photographer, but literally I'm like, no, this is true art. It is so beautiful. It's so incredible. Like the way that you do blur, like shadows, details, styling, like everything that goes into your photos, it's like everything feels so intentional and beautiful.
I mean, I like to think that it is.
It is.
Like, I think over the years, like happy mistakes, I'm like, they're not mistakes. Just roll with them. Mm-hmm. You know? Like even, Blur is like super popular right now. So I'm like, I guess I'm a trendsetter. No. But part of the reason too was like when I was learning my camera, I naturally just have like a little bit of a shake when it comes to holding my camera. So I'm like, well, how can I, because like sometimes when I'm teaching too, like my settings are a little bit different. I'm like, I have to kind of compensate for my little bit of movement when I shoot. And also I move around. I move around so much when I'm shooting. And then I'm like, well, how can I take this and make this a little bit more intentional if I want to? So I have a couple like on my Instagram and website too. People are like, how do you do that? And I'm like, honestly, just drag your shutter, but mine's going to be a little bit different because I kind of have to shoot that way sometimes because my body is like moving so much. But yeah, I'd like to say everything is intentional. Styling is so important to me too. Like
Can you talk about the styling part a little bit? Because have you always done that with your photography? Just been all in on every component of it, including styling?
Yeah, I think it's kind of a funny conversation because I was talking to somebody at lunch today, and they're like, "Oh, it's just kind of funny. I knew it was you because you're always in all black." And I'm like, "Well, I just prefer all black." But also, I was like, I can't dress myself, but I can dress other people. And I feel like, I mean, probably that little girl dream. I was like, I want to be a fashion designer. My grandma did sewing and quilting and things like that. And I maybe still would, but I don't really like to sit at a sewing machine. And I'm like, how can I take that passion of that and kind of incorporate it into what I'm doing? I mean, I do have a big client closet, but sometimes whenever people bring stuff in, I'm like, after I do a wardrobe consultation with them, I'm like, all right, I'm going to style this different than what you're probably going to wear on the street, so we can give it a little bit more of like an edge, or if it's something that we can take it off the shoulder instead of, you're not going to go to dinner necessarily like that, but like, let's play with what your strengths are or what your favorite parts are. Like maybe you love your shoulders or your collarbone and things like that. So like, let's play with that intention there. And then sometimes I just want to go really wacky and do crazy shit. And I actually do for a very crazy shit photo shoot and very avant-garde. So I don't know what I'll style for that one yet.
Well, I mean, what I think is so cool is that you're like, sometimes you're literally like making dresses on the spot for your clients as they're like sitting there in front of your backdrop. You're just like giving them a custom dress with a piece of fabric.
Yeah, I really love doing that. To me, like fabric just kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
But a lot of times too, it's what's in the shadows, in the, you know, the highlights and things like that too, like the mid-tones, like it all just kind of makes sense. Like I kind of see it before it even happens. Like I want a certain drape because I know with the lighting, I know how that's going to look in the end, where I don't even really heavily Photoshop those parts or anything. I don't really heavily Photoshop in general anymore, but I try to get everything right as possible. There might be a pin here or there that I'm like, let me take that out, because obviously I'd rather keep shooting than worry about a pin all the times. But yeah, I just kind of have fun with it. And it is kind of fun to see, like, when I do it in person and people are like, I don't know how you just did that. And I'm like, I don't know how to tell you how to do it. It just made sense to my brain, but it took time too. Like, and I grew up around it. So, I mean, like, maybe there's a little advantage there, but I think it just takes time of, like, playing with it, because you might see different tones that I don't see, and it works well for what you're shooting in your studio and your lighting for your clients too. Because I don't do as much quote unquote traditional boudoir with just lingerie. So when you add fabric, yours is going to look so different and feel beautiful with what you're doing too.
I remember last year when you were shooting me, there was a couple photos where I was sitting in front of the window and I had a sheet covering me, and you were kind of tucking the sheet and playing with it and moving it on the ground. And there was a few times where it kept getting it would like cover my toe, like it just, and you would come over and you'd like move it off the toe and you'd be like, we need to uncover this, we need to do this. And I just remember, that toe. No, literally in that moment I'm just like,
in a non-weird way.
No, it wasn't weird, but I was just thinking in my head, I was like, what is this? Like, I was like, it just is such a small detail. I'm like, what is this even doing to the photo? But then like when I saw the photos, I was like, okay, I understand what you were doing now, why you were like just kept moving the sheet. But I have never experienced someone be so intentional with how every inch of that sheet was moving around me, because I swear you were tucking it for like 5 straight minutes, then you'd go back and do like one shot.
Yeah, I try not to take that long with my clients, but it's different when I'm photographing other photographers, which is kind of nice because I actually do it quite a bit too. I love when other photographers come to me, so you're due next.
Oh my god, please say less.
But yeah, I mean, like, to me, I want to have as much complete as I can. Like, I feel like we've probably all said, oh, I'll fix that in post. Half the time I regret it because I'm like, I don't want to fix that in post. Like, why don't I just get it right now? So to me, I have to almost step back and see it as a whole. And that comes from, I'm a trained painter. So I'm a fine art painter. Well, I haven't painted in like 10 years, maybe
That's
a little
incredible,
longer.
though.
Yeah. Let's rewind. Can we talk about that?
Yeah. So, I mean, I have an art degree. I mostly focused on oil painting and figure drawing. The figure work was my favorite. Like, I kind of look back at some of that work and I was like, it's not groundbreaking or anything. Not that it was supposed to be, but I feel like I learned so much about the body, about movement, even like them sitting still sometimes, I would kind of like see if I could move around the class a little bit. Some art teachers are more strict than others. But even seeing them move the fabric and things like that too, I most likely will actually go back and take a figure drawing class. I think it's worth it, honestly, for any photographer to just go see a different body and draw it. It doesn't have to be a great photo or a great picture or anything like that, but just having that connection where it's not your camera and it's like this instant feeling, like you take the time to make the lines and do the shadows and things like that. I think that that's kind of a nice thing to do.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's like, I'm sure it helps you understand bodies and movement and shadow and light even better. Like, I feel like the more ways you can kind of come at like understanding your subjects, like the more you can like kind of, I don't know, conceptualize like what things are going to look at like as you're planning shoots. And like, I don't know, this makes me want to take a figure drawing class. I'm really interested.
Well, and your photos look like paintings, so it makes sense to me that's your background. It really shows in your work.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We were talking earlier and we were like, we know she used to do something before photography, and like, you know, maybe it's theater. Like maybe we were like trying to figure out what it was.
Definitely not theater. And I tell people this now, I'm literally a painfully shy person underneath everything. Like this, if I'm talking about my passion, I'm talking about work, I'm teaching or anything with photography, I'm good. But the inside of me is still that little girl that went to Disneyland or Disney World and Mickey went to grab her hand and she screamed because she was so shy. I did not want to be the center of attention. And I still feel that way. Like I definitely have gotten better at not recoiling when someone says a compliment. I'm like, thank you. And actually mean it, you know, kind of shoulders back. But yeah, I mean, I just always felt so shy. But this, and I've had other people tell me too, they're like, I hear it in your voice, I see it in your eyes that you're not shy with this. But yeah, all of that stuff, it just, everything with like photography feels so intentional. So for me, sometimes too, like I do headshots and I'll do personal branding and I really have fun with those and I do like them, but sometimes it's hard for me to almost disconnect a little bit artistically when I'm like, this is someone else's brand. So yes, I can do some fun, pretty things, but all in all, I have to maybe photograph them in like a uniform they have for their business or a suit or something like that. And yes, you can still have fun with that. I kind of envy people that can do that because I have trouble breaking away from the artistic brain.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let me just throw you in a big gown. But wait, you're a chef. You probably don't want to wear that right now, or maybe do a shot or two, but that's not what we're here for.
Yeah.
So I struggle with that a lot too.
But like, I have to imagine the people who are coming to you probably want.
They know they're going to get
right?
that
like,
too.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I mean, I do those kind of things, but I know like, it took me a while too. Like I knew I didn't want to photograph newborns. Families aren't really my thing. I will only photograph very close friends. For like, I have a friend who wants to do their Christmas card again. I'm like, that's fine. But I really just felt like my passion was anybody I can just be artistic with. And then I really feel like the best with women, like, and female identifying people. Like I just, there's just something about it. Like, I don't know.
I mean, we know.
We know.
Yeah,
we get it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I do photograph men. I just don't do it very often, too, because my work is more on the feminine spectrum there. Like, is that the right word? I don't know if I said that right.
Like, the art, it feels more feminine. There's a lot of feminine energy.
Like, feminine. Yeah. I do occasionally get men that want to do that, or I get couples that I'll do, like, maternity photos with, but all in all, like to me, I'm like, I just want to focus on the woman because I feel like too a lot of times we're kind of the back burner, you know, and it's like almost like what some of the talks were about, like with Sue Bryce talking about, like, let's take up space. We don't want to bring all this down. We want to bring it back up with the shoulders. So that's kind of what I want to do too. Yeah. I can go on a rant on everything. I think I went beyond your question, actually.
No, we love this.
Yeah. I love that you brought up Sue's point about that because she made this comment in her talk where she was like, she said she had a moment where she realized she was posing women to be smaller, she's posing men to be bigger and take up space, and I was like, damn, yeah, that's like a thing for sure. I mean, I feel like we've all experienced like probably having moments where we're trying to do poses that feel more masculine for like our female identifying clients or whatever, but like I think a lot of the like really like traditionally feminine poses can feel like you're making people feel small. So I don't know. It's just like a moment for me to be like, I'm going to like keep this in the back of my mind as I'm going
So
forward.
like sometimes too, like kind of the model pose, like the hand on the waist, you know, it kind of looks like a bellyache. It's the broken doll. Kind of what a lot of people say too. I always try to steer people away from that. I was like, one, it can look kind of silly sometimes if it looks like a bellyache, you know. Yeah. But I'm like, let's not bring, I don't mind a shoulder in a little bit for like a little breathy moment, but I'm like, let's not bring our whole body crunched into this ball. Let's bring it out. So a lot of times I do something a little different. I know a lot of people tend to shoot a little more above. I actually shoot pretty below. And I remember when I first started, you know, multiple photographers were like, don't shoot up someone's nose. It's not flattering. And I'm like, I like being below because I want someone to look down on me and feel strong. And I mean, we even did that with your photo too. Like if you remember, I had some form of a squat going. I'm sure my legs felt bad the next day, but I'm like, I want you to feel powerful. And a lot of times too, that's just kind of being a little bit lower with the camera. And I mean, we didn't really photograph up your nose. And even so, if something's up there, I take it out in post. That I'll take out in post. That's fine.
No, I do remember that. And I mean, you dressed me like you had that lingerie that I wore, but then you put a blazer over it too. And a lot of the poses we did were just kind of bigger poses anyway, you know?
Yeah, they had those like shoulder pads. And then I had that chain belt too, to kind of give that little bit of, because I almost wanted it to have a little bit of an 80s flair to it, but not like a direct nod. Like obviously your hair wasn't big. It was how you naturally wear it. Your makeup was natural.
That's so cool. I feel like we are such like non-planners a lot of the time when it comes to our photography. And it's like, I love hearing how people plan out their shoots. And like, I feel like it's just a lot for us to learn from.
I kind of plan for my clients though. I don't mood board.
Yeah.
I just kind of go on the fly. So I do a wardrobe consultation because I feel like that's one of the biggest stressors for people and I mean, like, I've been on the other end of that too. I'm like, what am I going to wear for my headshot, my shoot, whatever. And then I'm like, well, I'm just going to dress as myself, which is what I did today when I did my shoot. But that, I feel like people do get really, really like confused on what to bring because maybe they've never had a shoot or maybe they've done like a boudoir shoot with lingerie, but they're like, well, I'm doing something a little different now. What do I need to bring? So I like to talk to them about that. But I do say, I'm like, I'm not really going to like mood board anything out. I feed off somebody when they're sitting in my makeup chair. Like, I'm like, now I'm getting who you are. Now I'm getting your energy. Yes, we've talked on the phone. Yes, we've emailed. But now I get to actually know you and see what your style is. Because for some people, I mean, most people do want to do some form of a gown or the fabric or things like that too, but not everybody wants a sequin. Not everybody likes certain colors. I try to stay in a very neutral color palette too, but I'm like, if you love wild, crazy prints, we're going to do that for a look. We're just going to wait till the end. I like to start as glam as I can to start while their hair and makeup is fresh. And then I can kind of go a little bit more messed up hair, things like that. You know, maybe like I'm a sweater. So by the end, I'm like, all right, so let's do the hair up and the thing. So, but I'm like, if I pre-plan that too much, because in the past I used to do like the shoot list thing and stuff, I felt so stuck.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good thing to have if it does help your brain or maybe you're new at it and you don't feel as confident. But I feel like my confidence actually shifted for the better when I was like, just create. Just talk to your client. What are they comfortable with? What are they not comfortable with? Like, you don't even have to bring up things like, I used to ask like, oh, is there anything you're uncomfortable with your body? And I'm like, why am I giving them a moment to think about that?
Yeah, giving them the idea.
Yeah, I'm like, but we all have a thing, right? And I'm like, you don't have to worry about anything. Just bring your own like undergarments. I have like nipple covers and stuff too, because I do live in Missouri. It's a little bit more conservative for some, and that's fine. So some people don't want to show anything. But other than that, I just want them to be free and be able to be there and enjoy the moment, because I don't want to give too many rules. Yeah, I'm like, I got you. I will pose you. The only thing I don't do is hair and makeup.
I was going to ask about that because your hair and makeup always looks so
Thank
good.
you.
I'm like, does she do that like ever for clients?
I used to do it for models, like when I would do creative shoots, but then I was like, I don't even really want to do it then. I want to just have them come in and let's roll, let's create.
Yeah. It's a lot of work to do hair, makeup, and then shoot.
I don't think I could do it for my clients just because I want to give them enough energy.
Yeah.
And I do shoot with my clients for usually about 2 hours and sometimes a little bit over, which is a little bit longer than some other photographers I know. But I am very careful not to rush people. Sometimes they take time to get dressed. Sometimes it takes me a second to build a dress on them.
Yeah, I bet.
Or I change it as we're going. And I just wanted it to feel like how my voice is now is how I speak when I'm shooting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, Anna, you know.
Yeah.
You're probably like, I can't hear you.
No.
But I want there to be a beautiful, calming energy. I wish I had more of that, like, yes, girl, like bouncing around. But it's just not me.
Yeah.
You know? And I want it to feel like, here's this beautiful, like, Vogue style. You could print this and put it on your wall. You could put it in a magazine and it would feel like you.
I feel like that's exactly what your style is.
Yeah, no, it is. It is.
Well, good. I'm very self-aware.
Yeah. And I mean, that really resonates because we kind of like the happy accident stuff you were saying. Our shoots really, when someone first comes in, they're very nervous typically. And the first few shots, still pretty nervous. They start to get more comfortable. By the end, though, they're wanting to try things and do things. And it's really, I would say the last 20-ish minutes of the shoot usually tend to be the most, like, some of the best shots happen then.
Yes.
And some of the funnest accidental things happen, or someone just will get so comfortable that they'll kind of sit in a certain pose and you're like, wait, that looks great. Let's play with this. Or they'll like, actually, I do want to do the wet t-shirt, or things just kind of like come out towards the end. And I love that last little bit of creativity. And I'm an overshooter. My sessions always go long with my clients, but I am just like, I don't know, I get like inspired and then I just go with it. And then I'm so excited and we're excited together, me and my client, and then it just happens. But I would rather have that kind of more chill vibe and not rush through it than leave the session being like, dang, I really wish we could have tried that, or them feeling that way, because that is like my worst nightmare. I never want
It's the worst feeling when you leave a shoot feeling that way.
I would never do that. Like I always tell people, I'm going to photograph you for about 2 hours. I might go a little bit over. I don't sit here and police the time. I will keep us on track. Well, I do have a lot of like parents too. So I'm like, I know you got to go pick up your kid, or you got to go to an appointment or something, and that's totally fine. It's funny. I feel like my body tells me more than anything else because of how much I move and like stuff. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, we're good. It's been 2 hours. Great.
Well, and their body with like posing can, after 2 hours of posing, your body is ready to be done posing.
And I feel like that's like the max for most
people. And I feel like I've also gotten pretty good at like kind of just knowing just by the outfits I've gone through too, or like different looks too. I'm like, oh, okay. I feel like we have enough. I feel like we're good. And I will always check too, like, is there anything else you want to do that we haven't done? Because when I start, everything goes out of my head that we've talked about, and I'm focused on you in this moment. I don't remember that we talked about doing like a green blazer or whatever it may be if it's not hanging up there. And sometimes too, I have to like go through. I'm like, let me make sure we got through everything. Oh wait, we still had this look. Do you still want to do it? Because my brain just goes so creative brain. Everything else has gone out. I don't know anything except for what is happening right in that moment with my client. So I'm like, you have to remind me. You have to come in and be fabulous in front of my camera and remind me if I forgot something.
I think that's really powerful that you're being like 100% present with them though. Because people can feel that, I think.
I even hate having to like get on my phone for any reason.
Yes.
Sometimes I have to answer a message, like a text or something.
Yeah.
But I don't take any phone calls. I don't email anybody while I'm there. I always, I've always told people too, I'm like, if it's anything urgent, which it shouldn't be, like they should be, I always tell people we're not brain surgeons, we're not rocket science. We can wait. I'm like, I'm just going to be with my client and then I will get back to you later. And I don't even really like taking meetings the same day because kind of how I do things too, I put so much emotion and feeling of myself into it. I kind of go home and I just need to retreat and be quiet. Yes. And it can be a little hard to be on a Zoom call.
Yeah.
Or I've booked a podcast or something after. And I'm like, wait, now I have to up my energy. So coffee or something. But yeah, that's what's really important to me. Like, I have talked to other people and they're like, you put so much into it, would it help to do like XYZ, you know, something else? And I'm like, I don't think I can. Yeah. I don't think I could ever go and shoot another way because this just feels authentically like myself. I have shot other ways. I've done the different type of studio. I've done the shoot list and it just didn't work for me. It's awesome. It works for other people. There's so many people I admire that don't do anything close to what I do.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, my brain doesn't do that. How does yours do that? How do you just walk in? Or like even Terry's talk today where she's doing that interview. I'm like, I feel like I would start crying. I feel like I would feel it too much. And she did such a good job of probably having some feels with it, but still keeping it going. And I'm like, I could maybe learn that, but I'm just more in awe of seeing like, you know, peers and other people do that kind of stuff too.
Yeah. It's so interesting just to see how everybody's different processes.
Yeah. And like her style being so much less about, you know, like mine is styling and the thing and stuff. And hers was like, wow, look at these images. And it's just her having a conversation.
Yeah.
I love Terry though.
Yeah. I love Terry too. Shoot. That was amazing today.
Yes. I'm so lucky that she photographed me a few years in Vegas, just like on a whim. Like,
wow.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, tell her about your run-in with Terry yesterday.
Oh my God. Terry is so cool. I'd never met her. Obviously, I have been following her, know who she is, all that. We were doing like a little impromptu shoot on the stairs that were kind of leading up to where the conference center is. So we were shooting Anji, and we were all on the stairs together. Anji was at the top of the stairs. I see Terry walking by, and she's like cheering Anji on. You look great. And then she's like, you should come down here and like take it from this angle. It looks so good. And so I like ran down the stairs, got to the angle where Terry was, and got this like really cool like far away shot of Anji. But I was just like, it's just so cool when you like meet people that you like really look up to, and they're like just giving you advice and just like being really nice for no reason. Like, we were talking earlier about some of the people here, and we were like, you know, if they spit on me, I would say thank you, because these people are so fucking cool to us, and we look up to them so much, and then they're just, like, doing a podcast with us, like, giving us free advice. Like, it's just really cool. Like, I don't know.
Well, I think that that's the difference between community and competition, though.
Yeah.
And I feel like definitely most people I know, especially that attend here, are all about the community. I've never, like, even, like, one of my first ones, I really only knew a couple people. And even one of my first conferences in general, again, going back to that shy girl, I didn't know a single person. I was like, I'm going to go, I'm going to learn, I'll figure things out. Every time I would just go back in my room because I'm like, okay, let me process this. And then I don't even know what happened. I guess there was like some form of confidence in like what I was doing. And I started to meet people and started to just talk to people. And now every person I pass, I say hi to. Every person, that. Well, at least with a pass too, because I can tell. Yeah. So like the red ribbon is new, it's first timers. Yeah. I see a lot of red ribbon. Well, you have red ribbon too. Yeah. I see a lot of red ribbons, and I want people to feel, even if they don't have a clue who I am, which I assume most people don't actually know who I am, but I want them to feel like invited. You know, and I've been lucky to have that feeling from other people. But I've also been to other places where people didn't really talk to each other. And it was very, like, clicked together. And I was like, how do I get into a conversation here? And I'm like, I don't want to be a part of people that are, like, nose up too much to talk to people. Yeah. And that doesn't happen here. Yeah. You could walk up to any person, like, everybody you've named, anybody, and be like, if they have the energy, they will talk to you right then. If not, they'll be like, let's chat in a little bit. Send me a message or something like that.
It's true. The vibe here is really special. And, you know, even right now after we finish this podcast, we're about to go to this pool party for everyone. And we've already told multiple people, like, we're going to bring a light. We're going to do some, like, pool boudoir kind of stuff. Feel free to join us. And a little bit ago, we were at the showroom floor. Taylor was talking to a vendor, and this woman came up behind us and started talking to us. And we were telling her about it, and, you know, we're about to see her, and we just met her an hour ago. And it's like everyone is just very excited to hang out, collaborate. Yeah. We had an impromptu pool shoot 2 days ago, and just all sorts of people showed up to that, and it was so fun to get to meet everyone, and everyone was just so genuinely excited and curious to be with each other.
What's really funny about that pool shoot is I was not even there, and I've heard about it, and then I sat at lunch, And I had someone speaking to me, and I'm so sorry I blanked on what her first name was. I remember her face. I'm terrible with names, so. That's okay. And she's like, "Oh, I love photographing you in the pool." And I'm like, "That's really sweet, but I wasn't at the pool." She's like, "Oh, I thought you were one of the Naked Peach Boudoir girls."
Oh my God.
And I was like, "You're really sweet, but no." That's so funny. You know, there's that sense of excitement.
Yeah.
Right? And then if you hear, like, you know, like, what do you do? And I'm like, boudoir and portrait. There's probably that association because, yes, there's boudoir photographers here, but it is primarily portrait. Mm-hmm. So there has been this, in the last couple of years, like a little bit of more of a mix too. But that was just kind of funny. I was like, that was cute. I was like, no, that wasn't me. I was like, was it a redhead too? Was the model a redhead?
No, there were no redheads.
I mean, there was a lot of people there though, so like there was a lot of like heads in the video.
That could be true.
Stuff,
she might have just seen somebody maybe in passing or something.
Yeah.
But I was just like, that was really sweet. I was like, no, it's okay.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
And then sometimes my name gets confused depending on your age, if you know who Shannon Dougherty is.
It's so funny being part of like I guess a niche community like this, because you were saying earlier that like probably the majority of people here don't even know who you are, and like I'm like, no, you're famous. Like, everybody knows who you are. But it's just, like, funny, like, you know, I don't know, how we all see ourselves differently.
Yeah, and I think also, too, like, not taking that as, like, oh, no. Like, yeah, I tend to stay fairly quiet in a lot of online groups. I don't really post in a lot of groups. I kind of just stick to my own stuff. Now, that's probably my own issue. I probably should post more and talk more and share more.
It's a lot.
But I do feel like I'm the most comfortable like on my own platforms and things like that, or chatting with people individually through email or phone calls or whatever it may be. But yeah, so to me, it was less of like, oh, no, you don't know who I am, and more like, oh, I didn't know because I don't post anything.
Yeah.
I literally, in these groups, actually, when I went into registration, she was like, oh, I knew your name because you've been in the group for a long time. And I was like, yeah, I think it's been like literally 2016 or 2017. She's like, yeah, I knew you were one of the long time ones. And I was like, shocked. I was like, maybe she knew the list of people. But you know, it's just because I was like, I don't post anything. She's like, oh, I thought I saw your name before. I'm like, I might reply to somebody, but I kind of just observe the groups. And I probably personally, honestly, should be better at that stuff. But I don't like if somebody less than the Portrait Masters groups, but, you know, the ones that want critique and stuff like that. Yeah. I'm like, I'd rather talk to somebody more than a comment. Yeah. If they really, really want, like, advice, because we all know that online comments and groups can get very messy. Yeah. Very fast.
Yeah. I've never submitted myself for one of those critique things because I'm just like, I can't handle it, you know? Yeah. I gotta have, like, the compliment sandwich from someone I know. Like, I can't do it.
I actually never have either, because it doesn't matter what kind of skills or anything. Somebody will tear something of mine apart. Yeah. I already know there's somebody out there who hates me, who hates my work, thinks it's just dog shit, and that's fine. Because they're not my client.
Yeah. Well, and art is subjective. Like, that's 100%. Another thing I have to remind myself all the time. It's like everyone's style is so different, but that's what makes it so fun, because you're like seeing other people's work. And even when we get inspired by someone and we bring it to each other and we want to recreate something, like the thing that we do, even if it's inspired by someone, it's never going to look like that, you know, but it's like really fun to do all of those projects.
Probably don't even want it to.
No, you don't. Like,
I mean, sure, we're all inspired. I think we're all inspired by each other. We're all inspired by everything, right? Like, I mean, what's the quote too? There's like no original ideas anymore. Yeah. You know, but I think that there's original people.
Yeah. Well, and art needs to make you feel an emotion, you know, and it doesn't.
Emotion can be anger too.
No, like, exactly.
You're like, I fucking hate Shannon.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, that was effective. Yeah. It made you feel something.
Great. I'm glad you felt that. So you took the time to leave the comment and post the algorithm for me. So thank you. I am very lucky though. I don't really get any rude comments. Occasionally I have had a few that I just delete them. I'm just like,
goodbye.
You know, sometimes I'll do the block, just depending. But I'm like, I just don't have time for that energy. You took the time to make that comment. And a lot of times, too, it's just something that I've never had anything go viral, honestly. But if it's, you know, something that has done better as a post, and then you just get the random person that's bored.
We have had stuff go viral, and the comments are insane, and we don't read them or look at them because it's too scary.
The more viral your shit is, the worse the comments will be.
Yeah. I feel like that's what happens. The only reason to, like, I mean, it'd be great to have something go viral. I know it's kind of what the conversation was, too, with David, but I am so protective of my clients
Yeah.
that I fear I would miss something and they would see it and feel bad.
Yeah.
Because we all know it doesn't matter. Every person on this planet, there's somebody out there who would probably leave a bad comment about them because that person is miserable.
Yeah.
I'm just so protective. You know, like I just want everybody to just be excited for their photos. So maybe the viral things.
Yeah.
No TikToks for me.
Well, our viral stuff it's only us.
It's of ourselves.
Like, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then
So
it's just people tearing.
Yeah.
It's people telling us how
They're
disgusting
tearing
we
us
are.
down.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah. But see, I don't even want to have the energy for that. I'm like, I
Yeah.
really don't want to hear you talk about me. Like,
Yeah.
No,
Well, and
you
that's why
don't.
we don't
You
read
don't
it.
want
Yeah,
it.
we don't read it. We just go focus on our work and our clients and each other.
you're like, thanks for boosting the algorithm for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for
With
helping
all
my
the
clients
comments
see
and
this
things.
video.
Yeah.
Like my future client who's going to book with me.
Exactly.
Is that on TikTok though? Mostly, I feel
Yeah.
like TikTok is kind of a messy place. I don't want to be.
Yeah, it's weird
You
because
know-
it's like TikTok can be so good. We've
Yeah.
gotten so many amazing clients from like, you know, we've had people fly here from other states, like
Yeah.
across the country, fly to Portland to shoot with us because they found us on TikTok. And then we'll have a video go viral of like Anna hanging out the window, like pretending to like do anything to get the shot, and people like being like, I can't believe you would post this. This is so dangerous. Like, stop promoting people almost dying. Like, people are just, it's just like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, have you never heard
Like,
of a
do you-
joke in
yeah,
your
And
life?
also, do you
like,
not see like the steps or whatever? Maybe
Yeah.
right there?
Yeah, or they're like, this is so stupid, like just use a different lens, or this is so stupid, it's only a 6-inch drop, and it's like, you clearly don't understand that this is a joke for
yeah.
TikTok.
So there's like the men who will see our posing videos and they'll be like, this is what's wrong with the world today, you know?
Yeah, I feel like unfortunately there's a lot of that with boudoir, and if
Yeah.
you post any type of body type
Yeah.
that isn't what they want to see.
I have another unrelated question
Okay,
for you.
great.
Only because you were talking about, like, you know, it's okay, it'll be our ideal client that sees it or whatever.
Yeah.
But so when I see your beautiful art pop up on my feed, and it, like, I always stop and I'm just admire it for a second. And I think, like, Shannon's clients, when they come to her, when they get their beautiful photo back, do all of them just print like a very, very large art piece for their home and hang it
I
on their
really
wall?
hope so.
Yeah.
No, I do sell digitals, folio boxes. I don't really do albums, and then I do wall art. But I have yet to have somebody buy a huge wall art.
Okay.
Are you
But I'm-
serious?
I'm hoping they print them eventually, though.
Yeah.
Because they have their digitals.
Yeah, because they'll have a digital. But I think sometimes, and I try to break this fear down, is people like hanging photos of themselves up. They don't want to feel like it's too
Narcissistic.
self-centered or narcissistic.
Yeah.
But also too, I'm like, do you see how amazing this beautiful, huge photo of you would look in this spot? Because I think sometimes too, our clients need to know kind of where it's going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too, like, oh wait, what wall am I going to put this on?
Mm-hmm.
I can't justify having this huge print. But then sometimes like people come back and they're like, okay, well I have the spot now. Can I go ahead and do that one?
Yeah.
Anybody listening right now, this is me giving you permission to get a very, very large photo of yourself and put it on your
Print your
bedroom wall,
photos.
your bathroom
Put them on your wall.
Yeah.
I have my
entry
stuff
door.
printed.
Yeah.
I mostly do the self portraits of myself, but they're all printed. They're in a folio box. When I'm having a really bad self image day, I'm like, oh yeah. Or what would David say, a baddie?
Yes,
I'm a
we
baddie.
need to
I'm a
feel like
certified
certified baddie.
I have a sweatshirt that says that. Had I known he was going to say that a bunch, I would have worn it.
You
But
should've.
wear a sweatshirt in Arizona when it's 110 degrees.
Oh my God. But okay, in the conference room, you could get away with it.
Yeah, you could.
Who
Yeah, it's
knows?
cold
Even
in
still
there.
hot in there once more people got in. It's
Yeah.
starting to get
Yeah.
really hot.
Yeah.
But no, I think like a lot of us too, like print your stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, I've had clients from the past come back to me for like, repeat shoots, and they're like, I'm like, oh, what are you doing with your photos? Oh, they're still on the hard drive.
You
It
need
needs
to
to be
print
printed.
those.
I'm like, what are you
babies.
Yeah.
doing? Like,
Yeah.
print them. Or like, I hear that from like wedding photographers a lot. They're like, if my clients still have it on, this is dated, but a CD,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't want that in an album? You don't want that in prints? Like, I would love to have beautiful photos like that. My next step is to take more of a Vanity Fair style photo with my cat. And I'm definitely going to
Wait.
print that. Oh, I really...
This is our dream.
If she's going to let me hold her. So you know how cats are. The second you pull out a camera, their head goes to the side.
Yes.
Yeah.
But she's got a great profile, right?
Yeah.
But I'm
Oh my
hoping I
God.
can get her... Like, if I can get myself
my
together, maybe I can
I want to do this too. Like, that's my dream. It's my dream.
I want her pet portrait painted eventually too.
Yes. Well, okay, so this photo right here of my cat, this is I took this and I made it our nursery like artwork. It's like I printed this really huge photo of him. Every time I look at it, I'm like, this is stunning. He's stunning. This photo's stunning. But my dream would be to have a portrait of my cat and myself and him just in that same pose, perfectly perched like that. And I can get him to do it for a solo shot, but I just don't know if he'd ever do it with like sitting on.
Well, you could also take that shot and just
Photoshop it.
Yeah. Do a composite or something too. Yeah. I mean, composites aren't fun to me personally. I know there's people out there that love them. Love to do them.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't have 4 hours to sit here.
Oh my God.
But you could do that if he doesn't sit.
Yeah. Well, the one of Taylor and Gosha, I can't wait to shoot at some point.
My cat is very like camera ready. He's like a performer. So we got to do that.
Wow.
But that's like, I feel like that's like the ultimate like self celebration to be like, I'm going to print out a big ass photo of myself and my gorgeous pet and just like shamelessly put it on the wall. Like everybody needs to do that.
I did years ago when I was working in a boudoir studio. I did take her pictures in that studio. So I had like a rhinestone like necklace on her, and she kind of looked at me for a few, but she kind of mostly had her head to the side, and she just like kind of looked like, oh, you know, just too wealthy to even look at me, like with all her diamonds on and stuff. But yeah, that's kind of my dream. So we'll see.
Do you know what the key is to pet photography with the cats? Does your cat have like a certain toy that she really likes?
No, she likes food.
Well,
she's very food driven.
Get whatever it is and just like have the camera there and just like tap that right on the front of the lens right above like the top of the lens, and they will look directly at that lens.
She's funny. I don't think she would.
You don't think she would?
No, I feel like she would need something. I don't know. Food would make her run.
We had like this
she's
long
very
stick.
Weird. Like she's the best cat that's ever existed in my eyes, but she's just. No, I don't know. I'll see. I'll let you know how it goes.
Just try it.
Yeah. I'm going to take a little break around the holidays, so I might just do that. You know. Oh, if I put a laser pointer, maybe she would.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
She's not into the lens because obviously
put it like right next to the lens.
Yes. Yeah.
Or put it like near the ceiling where you can get that like beautiful like looking up shot.
Yes.
Yeah. But we can talk about cats all day, but
we are
it's
cat
our
ladies.
Favorite subject.
Yeah. Through and through.
Okay, we can go into our obsessions.
Okay.
Because we have a pool party to attend, and you have a busy night too. So
my busy
room
night
service.
Room service. Okay. Hey, we are at a deadline for your room service.
Those things are important. I know. I wish they used
Self-care.
to do. I remember like the days when they would do them all night. Now they have a cutoff, but I get it though. Probably most people don't order it at like 2 a.m. or no, maybe they do.
No, that's
after
when
the pool party.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they could make a lot of money doing that. But
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, do you want to start this week?
Yes. So my obsession this week is the new Olivia Rodrigo album, Guts. It's so good. Was that going to be your obsession?
Yes, of course it was.
I'm sorry. We've been listening to it literally nonstop in the hotel room. Like every time we come back here, someone immediately puts it on their phone, and we're just listening to it on repeat, like over and over and over again. It's just, I am a teenage girl in an early 2000s rom-com. When I listen to that album, I'm Lindsay Lohan, Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen. Like it just makes me feel like it awakens that part of me, and I love it.
I watched Mean Girls on the Plane, so there you go.
I love that.
This album is like it fits with that whole vibe.
Yeah. It makes me, every time I listen to it, it makes me think of every single high school relationship I ever had, reprocess it, every friendship in high school I ever had. If that album came out when I was in high school, I don't think I would have been okay. Like, I think it's probably good that it didn't, because I would have just been listening to that on repeat on my iPod constantly, in my car constantly, like
lyrics on your Facebook status,
printed out, posted on my wall where I would stare at them and memorize all the lyrics. Okay, that's,
But now it's healing our inner child. To listen to this, so we love it.
What's your obsession this week?
Does it have to be music or
no?
Anything, literally anything.
So I have been, loving this makeup brand, Daphne Beauty. So it's the liquid eyeliner I have on. I actually don't have her lipstick on right now, but it's very like retro inspired. Like it's like all her packaging is pale pink. Like she's got pale pink hair and all this stuff. And I brought so many of her products here. And in this Arizona heat, and I think that their store is based in Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. It has like not budged. Like I will have to take a remover to even get it off. And I'm like, that's what I need instead of, I'm sweating or my eyes are watering and it's like running. So I'm very much a makeup girl too.
Well, and you always have a perfect cat eye. So this is coming, like, somebody that has a perfect cat eye talking about a good eyeliner brand is meaning a lot.
Yeah, and you have, I mean, your makeup looks perfect right now. And it's like, it's the end of the day. We've all been sweating all day long.
Taylor and I literally had to reapply makeup to even podcast.
Yeah, so. We like redo a full face of makeup, each of us.
Yeah, so I've been loving her stuff.
It looks incredible. I need to check out this branding.
So good.
Yeah.
Shannon, thank you so much for joining us. It was really fun getting to know you better.
Same.
You're incredible. We hope to have you on the pod soon. Again, please come to
I'll
Portland.
I'll visit you.
Please
come to Portland. And where can the people find you if they want to book a shoot or just follow you?
They can follow me on Instagram. So my @ is my first name Shannon _K _Dougherty. And then my website is shannonkdougherty.com. Those are where I'm going to be easiest to reach. I have a TikTok. There's one video on it that is just wardrobe from 2 or 3 years ago. So I'm not really into TikTok as much, but you can message me there if it's easier. I think and Threads. I'm on there, but I don't even know if you can message on that.
Everything's weird.
Everything's under my name, but Instagram and my website are going to be the easiest ways. Perfect. And I'm starting to book for next year, so
exciting.
Okay. Everyone go book a shoot with Shannon. You will not regret it.
Yeah, you will not. I mean, and if you do, you better put those photos up on your wall.
You have to.
Immediately.
I'm going to up my sizes.
Yeah. Yes. I put 2 big pictures of my own body in my bedroom. One on either side of the bed.
Perfect.
And it makes me so happy to see those photos every
They're
day.
stunning. It makes me happy too because I took them and I think they're beautiful. And I have not ordered it yet only because I'm still trying to figure out my dimensions. But the iconic photo she took of me in the sand dunes with the cowgirl hat and the boots, that is going to be huge on my bedroom wall. And every day my husband and I will wake up and look at it and then we will start our day.
I think you need to make it a wallpaper and just cover an entire
wallpaper.
Yeah, there you go. Just do like one big wall.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm going to, we will be moving in the next few months, just like, still in Portland, but just moving. And I really can't wait for whoever is the movers that we hire to move this piece of art and stare at it as they load it onto the loading truck.
It's going to be their lucky day.
All right, so Posse, you can find us at Naked Peach Boudoir on all the socials, nakedpeachboudoir.com, peach.posse on Instagram,
and Peach Posse on TikTok.
I always have to think about it for 1 second.
But I know.
And you can find me at Anna McLaughlin Photo. I'm still shadow banned, but we have had some interesting developments in the last couple of days because we've gotten good tips from good friends to just change our accounts from business to personal accounts. And after I did that, all my stuff got unflagged.
Yeah, but you still have to type out both of our full names to find us on Instagram. You still have to type out the full Naked Peach Boudoir to find Naked Peach on Instagram. But I don't know. The journey continues. Yeah, you can find me at TSmellz, TSMELLZ. And we'll see you next Tuesday.
Bye.